The Chinese Communist Party poses an existential threat to America. Led by Xi Jinping, the CCP's military, economic, and ideological aggression undermines our national security, sovereignty, and our way of life. Everything is at stake, and if we do not win, the Chinese Communist Party will bend the rules of commerce, science, and geopolitical power to serve its authoritarian vision. For the past 2 years, the House Select Committee on the CCP has shone a light on China's actions that threaten American interests while forging bipartisan consensus on the steps needed to safeguard our nation. We have helped American citizens in their fight against CCP-backed companies, met with allies and partners around the world, and passed legislation strengthening our ability to preserve peace in the Indo-Pacific. The CCP's actions affect every American, and last year, the Select Committee's historic policy report outlined our strategy to fundamentally reset the United States' relationship with China. These 150 bipartisan recommendations set forth a blueprint for our country to unleash American innovation, end the CCP's chokehold of vital U.S. supply chains, and win this competition. As chairman, I introduced legislation to finally revoke China's privileged trade status with the United States, restoring fair and reciprocal trade for our businesses and our workers. We've also taken aim at China's dominance of critical minerals. Depending on supply chains controlled by China is untenable and dangerous for the American people. That's why a bipartisan group of members on the Select Committee worked to introduce legislation that will safeguard America's supply chains and reduce our economy's dependence on the CCP. China's supply chains are also tainted by horrific human rights abuses, and our work has led to companies being blacklisted by the federal government. Companies like Cattle and Goshen can no longer work with the Department of Defense, and CCP drone maker Autel is prohibited from receiving U.S. technology because of ties to the Chinese military that our committee highlighted. The reach of the Chinese Communist Party's malign influence on America goes beyond trade and the economy, though. Our investigations uncovered evidence of how the Chinese government is subsidizing the flow of fentanyl across our borders, poisoning our communities and killing thousands of Americans. This is unacceptable, and our committee's bipartisan working group has introduced new legislation that will hold the CCP accountable for the fentanyl crisis. Alongside the Committee on Education and Workforce, the Select Committee revealed troubling partnerships between American universities and Chinese universities that aid the CCP in the development of weaponry and surveillance technology. As a result of our work, Georgia Tech and Cal Berkeley have closed joint institutes with PRC universities, helping to protect crucial American research from being stolen by the CCP. In two other groundbreaking reports, we highlighted how venture capital firms and asset managers on Wall Street have been funneling American savings and retirement money into Chinese companies that advance the CCP's military modernization and human rights abuses. Our committee has also shown a spotlight on a covert CCP police station in New York City, which has now been closed by the FBI. The CCP's United Front operations in the U.S. are designed to silence Chinese Americans, and this committee has stood with Chinese dissidents here at home and around the world as they bravely speak out against the CCP's ongoing genocide and enslavement of Uyghurs, as well as other human rights abuses. Finally, the Select Committee has made incredible progress in combating the CCP's malign influence within the United States. Look no further than the passage of our bill to divest TikTok from CCP ownership and protect Americans on the app from Chinese surveillance. With steadfast support from both Speaker Johnson and Leader Jeffries, I look forward to continuing to lead this excellent group of lawmakers for another 2 years and continuing our bipartisan work to stand up to the Chinese Communist Party and protect American interests at home and abroad. In doing so, we will preserve our nation's security, strength, and sovereignty for decades to come.